Hi guys, so for today's video we thought we would share some of the things that made our 2020 better in some way, shape, or form. Whether that be improving our productivity, forming daily routines, or simply finding ways to pass the time.
Since we're at home most of the year, we'll be mentioning a lot of things we use to improve our living space. So without further ado, let's begin.
So we'll start off this video talking about some things that made our time at home a little bit cozier. You can start.
So I got this hoodie a little bit later in the year. I got this hoodie from Cotton. I was originally looking for a hoodie with the proper drawstring length, and I liked that they didn't have like
Weird plastic bit.
Yeah, ugly tassels and stuff that made it look cheap. So this hoodie from Cotton, they're like this really sustainable company in Canada, and they make really great soft hoodies. I really like that the inside is brushed cotton, so it makes it really soft and just makes putting on this hoodie that much more cozier.
So I also bought something that I could wear at home. So I got a sweat set. This is from Aritzia. It's under the TNA brand. It's made of a very heavyweight cotton material, and I wanted something that I could easily wear at home but also like go out in without looking too sloppy. And I also wanted something that was more fitted and not too baggy around the thigh area. So when I'm going out, I like to wear it with a long trench coat over top and some sneakers, and yeah, I just transitioned really easily from working from home to running errands out. So last year I purchased the Vitruvi Stone Diffuser. I probably use this at least once, if not all day, ever since I purchased it. It's the perfect way to set the mood for whatever activity I'm doing. I like to diffuse lavender before bed. I like diffusing a sage essential oil blend called Tantra. It has orange in it, and with a few drops of cedar wood, it adds like a woodsy base note that makes it smell really similar to Aesop's Resurrection hand balm, which I really love. So yeah. So ever since we purchased these Bailey Nelson blue light glasses, they have been staple accessories in our work lives. Prior to getting these, we would get headaches from staring at a computer screen all day, so we decided to get these blue light glasses for each other as gifts. I knew I wanted an acetate frame because I wanted something that wasn't too heavy on my face versus like a metal frame or something. So I got these Logan frames in the green tea color. And I feel like the green tea color is subtle enough that it really fits seamlessly with everything else in my wardrobe.
So I got these Adler frames in silver because I was looking for some metal frames. I personally think that metal frames look more smart or elegant. I chose silver because I think that it looks better against my skin tone as opposed to black or gold, and I primarily use these for work or when I want to go out and look a bit smarter.
So after a few months of working from home, I decided that I wanted to replace my old Target desk lamp with something a bit more sophisticated. So after doing some research, I had narrowed it down to the Menu Carry lamp. And when I saw that it was on sale at a local store called Vancouver Special, I immediately ordered it. It's a portable LED lamp that you charge with a USB cable through here. It has 3 brightness modes that you can choose from. And I just really love how it has sculptural elements on top of it being a functional piece. And you can choose to either hang it on your wall like this, or even completely remove the handle to make it just a glowing ball on your shelf or desk. So it's like 3 light fixture styles in one. So the last thing that we wanted to share that made our work lives in 2020 that much easier was the Notion app. So you've probably heard of this app. I personally have tried out a lot of productivity apps in the past, but I never really liked any as much as Notion. Aside from the beautiful clean interface, it makes it so easy to organize and reformat notes or documents with their drag and drop feature. I also recently started using it to organize my recipes. So I like that it syncs between all my devices so I can easily head down to the kitchen with my iPad and easily access whatever recipe that I want to cook that day. We also even used it to plan this video, so the collaborative feature was also really helpful because I could easily share the documents on my Notion with him, even though he doesn't have a Notion app. So another thing that definitely changed for us in the past year was our morning routine. Prior to COVID, I would get my daily cup of coffee from a nearby coffee shop at school or at work. So for the first little bit of the pandemic, I would rely solely on instant coffee until I decided that I would invest in a proper coffee machine. Since I prefer lattes over drip coffee, I thought it'd be best that I get an espresso machine. So I got the one that was on sale at the time, which is the Nespresso Essenza Plus C machine. I like taking my coffee with about 10 ounces of milk. So one of my favorite pods is the Arpeggio because it's intense enough that you can still taste the flavor of the pod itself without the milk diluting it too much.
So the past year has really forced me to make some more time for myself at home, and making coffee has become one of my favorite things to do over the weekend. I really enjoy the process of pour over coffee as it allows me to appreciate the simple things in life. Whenever I make coffee and I want to keep it hot, I like using my Kinto tumbler, as I find that this tumbler keeps my coffee hot much longer than my other bottles. And if you want to see how I brew my coffee, you can watch my morning coffee routine in the link in the description.
So this year, like many other people, we found ourselves cooking or baking at home a lot more often than we did before. This gave us more opportunities to try out new recipes and spend quality time together. We made a lot of good memories in the kitchen this year, and we're both slowly getting better with our knife skills. We really enjoyed making stuff like
Rigatoni alla vodka,
red Thai curry,
banana bread,
of course, Korean mapo tofu,
pumpkin pie, kimchi fried rice.
Yeah, and sundubujjigae, which is
soft
tofu stew. You can check out how we made soft tofu stew in our previous video. We'll link it in the description as well.
So we're both big fans of Asami and have been for a while now. But recently we've had more reason than ever to invest in high quality tableware. So I particularly like the bowl from Asami. I think that the size is not too big, not too small. It has a nice weight to it, which feels really nice in my hands. I love the raw finish of this bowl, and I love using it for soups and stews as it gets really cold in the winter. It really makes meals more enjoyable, which I think is really important when staying home all day, as eating usually tends to be the best part of my day. Over the summer, I spent many hours on the driving range and several weekend mornings on the course with some friends. Golf was one of those few COVID-friendly sports, and I just happened to be an avid golf player. I also recently pulled the trigger on a brand new set of golf clubs, and Andrea gifted me a new golf bag to go with it.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about has been something that we both had our eye on for quite a while, and we were also just looking for a nice coffee table book, so we thought this would be perfect. It's called The Touch, and it's by Kinfolk and Norm Architects. And it features some of the most beautifully designed spaces in the world, and a lot of them happen to be on our bucket list. We really enjoyed reading about the story or process behind each space, and just simply appreciated the amazing photos in the book.
In particular, the Acne Studios in Seoul, Hoshinoya Resort in Kyoto, and Froma Store in Copenhagen were definite highlights for me. I've personally been to the Acne Studios in Seoul and would love to stay at the Hoshinoya Resort in Kyoto once the pandemic's over and we can travel again.
So this next product is probably something everybody already knows about, and that is Animal Crossing. During the first wave of COVID, we spent many hours playing this together because we couldn't really do anything else. Towards the latter half of the year, we didn't reach for it quite as often as we used to, but I still do try to check in on my villagers. I also really should finish up my island because it kills me that I've played hours and hours of this game, but I still haven't completed my island. The terraforming is just so tedious, and my Nook's Cranny never has any items that I can use.
So the last thing we want to talk about are some of the TV shows and films we watched in 2020 that we really enjoyed. We really got into Korean dramas, including everyone's favorite Crash Landing on You,
Startup,
and Itaewon Class. We really liked that these shows were juicy, and there were a lot of funny moments and characters that were relatable and likable. Some, not all. We also watched a documentary on designer Dieter Rams, directed by Gary Hustwit. We watched this movie when it was being offered for free for a month. We were really lucky to watch it. We enjoyed learning about this man's process and his story behind some of the most iconic designs in history, including his Vitsue shelving system, which I'd say we're big fans of. And finally, we really enjoyed watching The Final Table on Netflix, an intense cooking competition show featuring 12 international cooking teams. And we ended up watching this show every day until the very last episode.
So that about wraps it up for our 2020 favorites video. We hope you enjoyed. Comment below what made your 2020 better, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!